let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So before we get started, I just want to make a comment that both of our audio-visual volunteers have personal commitments tonight, so we're sort of winging it by recording the meeting in advance. We hope to have it uploaded to YouTube within the next couple days. And I'm also trying to do a backup recording via Zoom so that we can continue the history of getting these meetings recorded for posterity. So let me do the call to order. In attendance, Bill Simonelli, here. John Elkins.
Here.
Dave Ott.
Here.
Dave O'Donnell.
Here.
Rob Purcell.
Here.
Lisa DePatti. Here. Stan Toro.
Here.
Stan is attending remotely. Chuck Keel.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum and we're ready to move. The first thing I'd like to ask is for a motion to approve the board meeting minutes of November 20, 2025. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Any comments on the meeting minutes from November 20th? All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes of November 20, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Stan?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Now, after doing a little research, what I'd like to do is I'd like to put up a motion to add under new business, adding 3 people or approving people for committees. I'd like to add to the agenda approving Kim Whiteley as chair of the amenities committee, Margaret Mollahan as a member of the rules committee, and Renee Conrad as a member of the neighborhood representing Somerville condos. This vote is just to add that to the agenda, and we'll deal with that in new business. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of adding this item under new business, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is the President's report. Want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Service cutover of Blue Stream Fiber's internet service has commenced after 2 weeks of Friendly's installations that were used to fine-tune the process. Blue Stream will be increasing the number of install team personnel in January to ramp up installations so that we meet our objective to be done by late March. We have scheduled a second Blue Stream Fiber Town Hall for Thursday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. for seasonal and new residents and anyone who is not able to attend or watch the first Town Hall meeting. Right after the new year, we will start sending out reminders for the next Blue Stream Fiber Town Hall. On the matter of 2668 Bellingham Court, on December 3rd, Sandoval was granted a permanent injunction against BG Real Estate Florida LLC, preventing the rental of individual rooms in violation of association rules. There will be an ongoing effort to monitor compliance with the injunction, and Association Counsel is ready to pursue the available legal remedies in case the owners choose not to comply with the injunction. On December 16th, in a closed board meeting, the Board of Directors has authorized further legal action against BG Real Estate Florida LLC to recover the legal costs incurred in this matter. As this litigation proceeds, we will be providing more information to the community. The one amenity that everyone in the community utilizes are our gates. As we turn attention to the coming new year, the Safety and Security Committee is investigating alternatives to the current gate access technology and vendor via formal RFP. Key considerations for this evaluation include the technology options available to us, the burden on the community to change from the current vendor, ongoing operating and maintenance costs, and the willingness of vendors to agree to performance metrics with financial penalties. This is a big task, and unfortunately the Safety and Security Committee is understaffed for this effort. I'd like to ask people to please consider joining the Safety and Security Committee to be part of this very important effort that will have a significant impact on the community. Lastly, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. With that, I'll ask the treasurer to do his report.
I'm waiting for this to turn on. One thing I do want to bring up that gets fired up is that with the November financials, all of the work that the auditor has done has been adjusted in the financial reports for November. So one of the big key things is that the clearing accounts now have zero in it, so those have been taken care of. So year-to-date income is above budgeted income. Year-to-date house sales as of 11/30 is 41. Forecast for the year is 75. If we continue at this rate, we'll be under budget by $120,000. Expenses are under budget. Capital reserve balance is $821,986.92. This includes a $532,570 adjustment from operating to reserves. Fifth Third balance is $4,336,02. The market yield is 3.1%. Total reserve balance is $5,157,986.94. Year-to-date reserve spend is $613,293. Of that, $158,472 was unplanned spend as a result of the flex room, the pool upgrades. So I just wanted to point that out. Like I mentioned before, the adjusted journal entries from our auditor have been applied. I'm going to ask for the board to approve a transfer of at least $500,000 from popular reserve to Fifth Third account. And I'm going to begin researching opening a money market account for some of the operating funds.
Okay. No, just have somebody. I got to just mute everybody. Okay.
All right.
Continue.
Operating income is above plan, operating expense below plan. The operating expense being below plan, we're going to start seeing that level out because of the mulch and tree trimming that has been going on. Reserve income is below plan, but that's the effect of low home sales. Reserve expense is below plan. We most likely will end the year above plan unless we don't complete all the planned projects out of reserves. Total income is slightly below plan, and total expense is better than plan. All right. Major expenses, utilities are slightly over budget. Contracted services is 32,000 over as a result of the 65,000 that the board approved for additional budgeting for the Cape Coral Police Department, and overall major expenses are below plan. Reserve expenses are above plan, below plan, I'm sorry. Professional services are higher than planned due to Blue Stream Fiber and legal services. And there was also an adjusted journal entry of $55,000 that brought professional services expenses down. And also an adjusted journal entry for federal tax return reduced the tax figure, and real estate taxes included in the November financials. Balance sheet, again, this reflects the $532,000 that was moved from operating to reserves. And also the clearing accounts were zeroed out, so everything is in good shape, and hopefully next year, or the audit for 25 will be a lot smoother and a lot quicker than it was this year, or last year. Delinquencies. Master assessment delinquencies is 138 residents for an amount of $114,585. The special assessment delinquency is the same as it was last month, and it's $47,063. And the reason the numbers are the same but the dollars are different is because those 51 residents are continuing to accumulate late fees and interest. So that's really all I can say about it. The special assessment breakdown, there's 34 residents that either made 0 payments or did not finish paying the 5 quarterly amounts that were due. And then there were 17 residents that have late fees because they didn't pay on time. So that's a small amount. And then there's 3 ex-residents that I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that, because it appears that those residents sold their home when we were still with the SOCIA, and it never got transferred over to property.
So she didn't put the correct stop together.
Apparently, from what I understand, is that, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but some of the real estate agents don't advise the buyers to get in the stopple, so they know nothing about it. And I'm not sure that there's anything we can do about that. So, but the master assessment delinquencies are decreasing. That's a result of each quarter when we have to make the assessment payment. For whatever reason, people don't pay on time. And then as each quarter, or as each month goes by, the number of delinquencies goes down. And we have started going after delinquent accounts through collection. There were some issues when we first started doing it that we had to get cleared up, but we now have the process moving forward to go after those accounts.
I have a question. Are you saying that the estoppel letter is not required for closing in Sandoval?
I don't know what that rule is. I'm just saying that I have been informed that not all new residents have the estoppel letter. So they're not aware of any outstanding liens against the seller.
Yeah, this is all we got to look into.
How do we tighten that up?
Yeah, we got to deal with that.
Any closing agent should have that part of the procedure.
Yes. I'm surprised the title companies
That's what I mean. Yeah.
didn't get that. My understanding is that, at least when I went through it, title companies had to get make sure there was no outstanding obligations on the property as part of the closing.
Right.
So, I just don't know how many are these?
Well, in this case, for the delinquencies for the special assessment.
No, I mean the ex-residents. 3.
That's just for special assessment. I would have to go back and look at the master, because I know there's some on there, but what I don't know is if it's the same individual.
Yeah.
We could appeal to the real estate association, something in order to tighten that up.
Yeah.
But we'd also have to look at the government documents and see if there's anything in there that spells out what the process is.
Well,
There is in the closing document.
Yeah.
The trouble is, how do you make that happen in a closing statement?
yeah.
You got to make its way to the closing statement.
All right, so Dave, I think this is something the finance committee needs to put on the agenda for dealing with next year.
Okay.
Okay. So we get this closed, so we get this tightened up.
And then the last slide is just all of the reserve projects that we've done. I have highlighted in yellow the ones that were unplanned, just so people are aware of what those are. And that's all will be put out on the internet for anybody that wishes to view it. That's it for the treasurer's report. Does anybody on the board have questions?
Well, questions, then you're going to make a motion, correct? Okay.
I have just two questions. So for the, if the collections on our delinquent accounts, that's being able to go to council or?
Yes, there's a process that we have to follow. We have to send out notices, and I don't have it memorized, but there's certain steps that we have to follow before we turn it over to the attorney for collection.
So there is a percentage of these that are at that state.
Yes, if you look at the, the financial statements, there is a section in there on delinquencies, and it goes into detail on what the status is of all delinquent.
And then for the 2025 reserves, if a project wasn't done, what happens to it?
Sometimes we move it to the next year for the project, because some of it's a timing issue where we can't get contracted and then do what needs to be done, or something is not available and we're trying to do it. I do know there's a few more things out here that has begun, it started the process, so it will be included in the December financial, but some other ones I just don't know.
So I would say the big project, Dave, is going to be the lake erosion repair, is because of delays with permitting, it's going to end up being
Correct, but
a
we,
26 event.
yes, but we already paid the
Deposit, so they're
25.
part of it, but the final payment will be in 26
26.
once they've completed the work.
Yeah.
So that just gets added as a carryover to tracking for next year. Okay.
Another question. Have we placed a lien on any of these properties due to failure of paying?
Yes, I don't know which ones, but I do know because I actually talked to a resident that came in and said, why do I have a lien on my house?
Yeah, I've been a licensed realtor in this county for 25 years. I know if a lien's been placed, the closing agent must satisfy all liens. So that's the strongest connection. If we can make sure a lien's been placed, we can get the money.
And then just related to this topic is that I have an email from our council. There is a foreclosure issue that I have to share with the board, that we have to make a decision on how we want to proceed. There's 3 different options they've given us for how to proceed. So we'll share that, we'll probably have to vote on it in January.
Anything else? But the only other thing that I would like to do is, since the money was transferred out of the operating budget to the reserve account, I would like to make a motion to authorize me to transfer at least $500,000 from the popular account into Fifth Third, which will give us a better return on our investment.
Can you make that exactly? I'll second it.
Would it make exactly 500? I can. I was just going to try to look and see if there was any more I could put over there.
Okay.
But
I'll second it.
Okay, Jeff, second. Are there any questions for Dave on the motion? All those in favor of the motion to transfer at least $500,000 from the popular reserve account to our Fifth Third investment account, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Stan?
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, sorry. All right, apologize, everybody.
Jane, are you going to do the late report?
All right, thank you, Stan. My apologies, I hit the wrong button.
I'll figure that.
Okay, all right. Next item on the agenda is the general manager's report.
All right. Under property, our mulch should be finished on Monday.
at which time we'll complete a full inspection. There's been a lot of good comments about the difference between last year and this year's mulch. There's been a couple of snafus, which are going to be handled. But for the most part, they're moving very efficiently, and they still have some of the commons to finish up. They worked their way up to Pine Island Gate so far. We've got a number of pallets still that are at the tennis court as well as the dog park. So they're going to be here Friday and Saturday to kind of finish up. Trees along the Cape Royal fence line have been delayed due to manpower issues with the contractor. It's probably realistic that it'll be pushed until after the holidays when they can get a crew together and get out here and kind of finish it up. The good news is that we're on their schedule for July of next year, which will be our tree trimming, which will be pre-hurricane season instead of post-hurricane season. Our power washing project started this week. They started on the Esplanades on Boulevard. They did the common areas here around the center today, and you'll see them for the next couple of weeks. We're also excited that in this year's budget, in 2026's budget, the opportunity to get our own power wash equipment so we can get out there and take care of some of those gutters that are kind of getting black, that are black. The Ashbury Street paving project didn't go as well as we planned. The contractor's been requested to come back out, grind up what they put down and put down a new one. They were gonna plan that for January. They have to let it cure for a little bit before they grind it back up, but that will be finished in January. The flex room finally reopened. Worked good?
I missed yoga, sorry.
Oh, all right. Was looking for a live testimony, but,
Yeah.
oh, there you are, yeah. So yeah, it took a long time, a lot of permit issues, but I think it came out really well, so. Our pool, the Board of Health will started their inspection of our pool. They'll be back in mid-January, and all things should be good there. Under Lakes, the fountain motor needs to be replaced. That just happened yesterday. It looks like we've caught up to all of our aerator repairs. The problem with having so many aerators, you finally get them all fixed, and then one or two actually go out. So but at least we have the majority of them up and running. Gate strikes. I want to thank the board for last month's motivational amenities suspension, which stimulated both owners to pay in full their gate strike monies, and their amenities suspension were reinstated after their checks cleared the bank. So it's unfortunate that it had to go to that extent, but we now know that that's a tool in our bag to use to collect money. The exit gate at Veterans is awaiting parts. It's been closed for a while. The parts are under warranty, so we have to run through the whole warranty process to get the parts. Once those parts be made available, we'll get that squared away. I do want to talk about a topic called poor actors. There have been some situations in the office. Some of that will be on the agenda this evening, where some poor actors have found their way into the lobby and overacting over car stickers. It is kind of sad to see this level of behavior in a great community like this. But I just want to go on record saying that there's been a spike in people getting really emotional, really upset, and over a $15 car sticker. So I ask people for their patience. I'll send out the policy for car stickers in my GM report, multiple reports. I've put it out in the past. It's very simple. You get a car sticker, you pay $15 for it. After the first 30 days, you have to pay for a new one if it breaks. If it breaks within the first 30 days, you get a new one for free. And it's not for free. The association is paying for every single sticker. And as you know, we have a line item for expense and income in the budget. It's a pass-through. We're not making money off of this. So giving away a free $15 sticker is not giving away a free $15 sticker. And we're very guarded about how we distribute them. This is not a new procedure. This has been established from day one in this community, where this is a gated community where access is taken seriously. So these are not stickers that we just hand out frivolously and people can move them around to different cars. So it's unfortunate, but I wanted to bring it up to the board's attention. Last but not least, during the holiday seasons, the staff is working on minimal staff in the office for the next couple of weeks. We're under one of these, you don't use your vacation, you lose it. So we will have minimal staff, and it's usually slow during the holidays. But the office will be open, closing early next Wednesday for Christmas Eve, and also closing early before New Year's Eve. I do want to say that we wish Katie, our pool attendant, who's been here for about 4 years, she's finally passed nursing school, and she's moving on to a nice job at Lee Health. And her last day will be right after the holidays here. So we wish her well. That does bring us down to only 2 pool attendants. And during the holiday season here, very difficult to find additional pool attendants. So we're at a skeleton crew at the pool as well. That's my report. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Any questions for Chuck? All right, thank you. All right.
One brief question. Chuck, the Ashbury, what was the problem in Ashbury?
It was wavy.
Oh, okay.
Not the whole
I
thing.
one time, but I didn't pay attention to it. So.
Yeah, it's not the whole, but there's an area where it's kind of wavy, so we've asked them to replace it.
Good.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to violations. So what I'm going to do is we have 4 violations that I'm going to treat as one block, and I'll ask you to vote on those after I've recited them, and then we'll move on to the 2 code of conduct violations separately. So we have account number 979-5240-7AC, have landscaping weeds violation, a penalty of $100. Account number 979-52504-BBC, dirty roof violation, penalty of $100. Account number 979-52513AC, trash can violation for $100. Account 979-2539 BBC, dirty roof violation for $100. And finally, account number 979-52696BSC, dirty roof violation for $100. Do I have a second on those penalties?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor on assessing a $100 penalty on each of these accounts as stated, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. The first code of conduct violation is account number 979-525-1BBC. That is a code of conduct violation for damage to the bocce court that I believe occurred in the December timeframe, correct, Chuck?
Yes.
Okay. And the documentation has been provided. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on this violation? This is to put 3 months restricted access to common amenities as the penalty for this violation. Dan, looks like you want to say something.
Only that, I think it goes beyond bocce court violation. I think the conduct of these kids has also been improper at the pool, so I think this is the right thing to do.
But the violation is specific to
I understand.
the damage that's been documented to the bocce court.
Exactly.
Any other comments on this violation? All those in favor of a 3-month suspension of access to common amenities to account 979-5251 BDC, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Stan. Okay. Next one is account 979-52639 CBC. That is a code of conduct violation of use of office staff, 3-month suspension of access to common amenities. Do I have a second? So I'd like to make a comment first. This is an example of what Chuck was referring to, where we're having people in. We've all been guilty of this at some point, I guess, and just sort of overreact to the situation. But in this situation, the staff felt physically threatened by the performance, by the actions of this individual. And as a result of this, in order to get proper documentation for the future, we are now going to add a new video camera with audio recording so that, we'll properly sign it, but I think we're trying to deter this kind of aggressive behavior to the staff. I mean, they're trying to do a job. Sometimes they make mistakes. We all make mistakes with our jobs in the past, but we need to treat them with respect. Yes, John?
So that our residents watching this broadcast don't think we're just doing it because somebody disagreed with us. I think I'd like to know a little more about how abusive this was. It was abusive language. It was getting right in somebody's face.
Yes.
Can you tell us any more? Because this was really a blatant violation of personal space and etiquette. Right?
This was vulgar language to multiple staff members.
Right.
This was approaching one of the staff members and putting their finger in that person's face and raising their voice loudly to the point where there was people in the gym that came out of the gym into the lobby to see what was going on.
I think people just need to know that. Not
Over-
because they disagreed, because it was
Yeah.
violent.
Over a $15 car sticker.
Yeah, right.
I'll make a comment.
Yes, please. Dave.
I went and saw the video and talked to the office staff. I think the people here, our residents, need to know that that behavior should not be tolerated in any shape or form. We have a responsibility to our staff to ensure a safe, comfortable workplace, and this has absolutely got to be stopped. So that's my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments before we go on? Stan, do you have a comment to make on this?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm going to call the vote on this one. All those in favor of assessing a 3-month restricted access to common amenities to account 979-52639 CBC for a code of conduct violation, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, done with violations. All right, old business, we have no old business this month. The first item under new business, we'll have the table. There's some confusion as to whether or not this individual is interested in joining the committee, so we have to get that resolved before we put her name up for consideration. Under committee approvals, I'd like to, as a block, submit a motion to approve Kim Whiteley as chairman of the amenities committee, add Margaret Allant to the rules committee, and Renee Conrad to the neighborhood rep group representing the Sandoval condominiums. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of adding these 3 individuals to these positions, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Thank you, Stan. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the ARP appeal for 2550 Sutherland Court. Please come up, and as we said, 3 minutes, and then we'll ask a representative from the ARC to talk for 3 minutes also.
I am Kim Clugston. We're here to appeal, this next is Jason.
Jason Hudson.
We're here to appeal the denial of a walkway that we wanted to add along the side of our house and would join the driveway. We initially put the approval in for 4 different plans. We drove around the community, saw ideas of things we liked. We actually talked to some of the neighbors that had things approved. Because we had an idea that a couple of our plans wouldn't go through, we submitted the 4 total. It was denied, so we sent an appeal with the 2 that shouldn't have had a problem. We talked to numerous people that had the walkways approved. And all we got back for the denial was saying that we would have to bring it to the board. So that is why we're here today. We have numerous pictures. I don't know if you guys have the information there in front of you of the exact dimensions. I tried to ask for clarification on what kind of walkways are accepted because there are numerous throughout the community. There is nothing in the standards that actually specifies what the measurements for a walkway would be. We did talk to somebody who had exactly the same plan that we had, that we decided on a final plan, just so there wouldn't be any confusion with the 4. Exact same plan. He was actually on the ARC committee when he had his approved and said that we shouldn't have any problem getting it approved, but it was denied.
I kept coming back to, well, this is the specifications for what you can do for a driveway.
Not
I
the
kept
one.
coming back like driveway, like we understand at this point, that we can't have a driveway that extends beyond the garage, but we're just looking to widen the walkway, so we bring our cans down to the road.
Okay. Rob, are you going to comment from our perspective, or is someone else here to talk about this?
I had no idea this was going to come up. I mean, I saw it on the agenda, but I thought somebody from the committee would be here, because they're more involved with it than I am. And I just oversee giving my opinions. The one thing that you guys submitted a couple of houses that had properties, had driveways, sidewalk extensions, what you liked, and every one that we researched, there's never been an approval. There's no records. We've been through all the paper records in the back. That they were not approved. I believe, Vinny was standing on this is, the current stipulations of what a sidewalk can be, and not be elongated and enlarged to the point where it creates another parking spot. It's just, so, I'm sorry I'm not giving you all the explanation, but they came to the conclusion that their idea was not within the guidelines of the current rules.
Does anybody from the board want to ask a question about this? David?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a couple questions. Sounds like you put in multiple plans and they were all rejected. Which plan are you trying to go forward with, and are you seeking approval on?
So the final plan, I'm not sure what page it's on. It was a picture that was like this, that actually had measurements
Yep.
next to everything, because talking to some people that did get some of their sidewalks approved, I asked them, what kind of specifications did they give you to get these things approved? And they said things like, it couldn't be any closer than 6 feet from a neighboring property, 6 feet from the road. And in our measurements, I showed that the added area would be 13 feet from neighboring property, 13 feet from the road, 6 feet from the sidewalk. So we had more than even the ARC committee member had on his made it even smaller, and he did have an approval for that. So I was assumed that with our measurements being smaller than this other one, then if his was approved, because he said it was approved, that these would be more in line with the, yes, that one.
In this picture, is the area in green where you're trying to add the new paver?
Yes.
On both sides?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the pictures that follow in the packet, there's some photographs. Is that your current property, or is that pictures of other properties that you're trying to?
So there's both in there. So there is a picture of our current property where I just added little lines of, this was the 4 initial plans. I don't know if you guys have that one still. That was our
We don't
initial.
appear to have that in our,
No, we do not have.
Okay, this is our initial driveway.
could you pass that to us, please, so I can take a look? Thank you.
Most of the pictures that you guys probably have are other properties then.
Yes.
And one of them that is exactly the plan that we were trying to do is the neighbor that I spoke to that did have that approval. And so we just mirrored his and did exactly what he had done. That was approved.
And that is from these community
Yes.
examples, which one is it? This one or
That, the first one, the one on the
This
left.
side right here?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And the cans will be on this side?
So there's a little green spot where
Yes.
we added, we're gonna remove the pavers that we have there currently, and the bushes that we have in our yard, we're gonna move back to put a bush in that spot to actually conceal the garbage cans better.
Final question on this for my portion of the questions, is the pavers you're proposing to put in, are they a match to the
Yes.
driveway pavers?
As
Yes,
close as we can match, because the pavers are aged at
Yeah.
this point.
but we did actually go to the company and bring our old pavers with us and matched them almost exact.
I don't have any other questions.
I don't see any problem with it.
John, do you have any questions, or?
I don't see any problem with it. I don't know, what's the objection? Yeah.
The green area on the right-hand side is too large. It's big enough to park the cars.
So on this picture is what you're, on this diagram is what you're
Yep.
referring to?
That's what I'm referring to. That was the opinion of the committee.
How many feet is it?
It was, so it would extend what we currently have 3 feet where the garbage can pads are, and then 7 feet at the widest part.
7 feet from the current pavers?
Yes, but then still leaving 13 feet of the property from the neighboring
It doesn't look
line.
like a straight line. It looked like.
It curves, it does, it curves.
If you straighten it out and would that be acceptable to Art?
Well, I originally tried to straighten it out, but felt like that was too much like a parking spot. And with our 4 plans, when we had a straight line, that was denied, so we decided that this would make it so it's not a parking spot.
So, one comment I've got is this is just,
They cannot extend.
because we've been going through a lot of this with the Blue Stream construction,
So this.
if I see this diagram correctly,
That's the.
part of your proposed extension of the walkway is in the public utilities easement?
It's not.
It's, well, the dotted line it shows there, it seems to indicate
Oh.
that it's in.
Okay, I see that.
So,
So that's.
that might be,
why we just-
so that's an issue in case
I don't know where all
any
the other. king
water-
cars coming out.
water, power, sewer, all have access in that public utility easement. And of course, the cable for Blue Stream is probably in there somewhere too, I don't know, but we have to go check the diagram for your specific area in their engineering plans.
That dotted line for electrical easement or
That's
cable,
the easement, yeah.
that doesn't preclude a surface street.
No, but it doesn't, but the thing is that if it gets dug up for any reason for repair, the utility's not on the hook for replacing, or repairing anything other than filling it in.
According to Rob, it looks like the biggest issue is you're extending the driveway beyond the edge of the garage, and that's something we haven't done anywhere in Sandoval. Approved it.
No, nobody that's gone for approval is it's not been approved.
That's what,
Right,
Unless
but-
there was, I mean, there's a bunch of them that were done. I mean, you can drive through multiple streets and find people who have just gone and done it, you know, without approval.
But we have approved.
what about beyond the garage to make a place for the garbage
The
cans?
the walkway to go, if it's only the yellow,
Yeah,
that would be acceptable. A green is what's not acceptable.
I see.
The yellow would be acceptable, and walkway to go out around the bushes that cover the edge of the cans, and then the papers for underneath the garbage cans. That's acceptable.
So,
Okay.
Rob, I don't mean to get in the weeds on this, but looking at this diagram, is what's on the left-hand side acceptable?
Correct, yeah.
Correct, so the issue is really on the right-hand, the proposal on the right-hand side.
The big green spot.
The big green spot.
Would you come look at this with us? And
Sure.
Rob says that this yellow, do the yellow is okay, as long as you don't do the green.
And this is what we currently have, this does.
Oh, you already got that?
Yes, the yellow is what we already have.
You already have papers
Now, this
there?
is the actual end of the road, so I don't know if it makes it confusing, but we
Yeah.
have, it's not as big as what the picture appears. That's why I submitted the one that
Yeah.
they do have it, and like I said, they're part of our committee and said that they had it approved, no problem.
Who was it?
He lives on Blackburn, I don't know his, I can't remember his name, it was Rob? I don't know if I'm
Oh.
just hearing your name and thinking Rob, but I, pretty sure it was Rob,
Yeah.
but he lives on Blackburn,
The
so
only one,
that's why we went with that exact plan.
I don't know who the two used to live on.
Okay.
I don't-
All right.
I'm not-
Stan, I know this has probably been a bit of a challenge for you to follow. Do you have any questions on this?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Is there a motion, or what do we do?
Well, the motion would be to either uphold or to approve the appeal, which means we do not uphold the ARC decision, and approve this plan. That's what the appeal is for.
Someone making that motion?
I'm gonna make one more comment.
Okay, Dave.
I appreciate Rob's position. Somebody from the ARC that would have been in the decision process
Yeah.
should have been here.
Yeah.
These folks were on the schedule and showed up, so I think we owe them a vote, in my opinion. If they provide evidence that appears and is not contradicted, maybe slightly, but that other people were approved, in my opinion, we'd be doing an injustice not to approve this. It doesn't seem to be wildly out of spec with what others have done. And it also doesn't look like it'll demean the value of our properties or in any way hinder anything of value to Sandoval to do this.
Except you're
That's
setting a
my-
precedent.
Yeah, you're setting a precedent.
But everybody has the right to appeal.
No, you're setting a precedent. If the board approves this, we have a new precedent.
Well,
I disagree. I think that they have the right to come here and show us the plan. We've had these discussions in the past. I think we have every right to say.
the only way, John, my understanding is the only way that it becomes a permanent precedent is that if the ARC committee comes to us with a change in the ARC guidelines, it reflects this, which I don't think they're going to do. So basically, what we're dealing with is, if I understand this correctly, is a perceived ambiguity in the definition, the guidelines in terms of how to do this. Rob, you disagree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay. How do you disagree?
There's no ambiguity in the guidelines. It says, can't be any, you can have a pathway out and around garbage cans like they currently have in yellow.
Am I allowed to say anything or no? Oh.
Yeah, in a minute. We'll give you a
Oh,
chance to
sorry.
talk. No problem. No, okay. We're going to talk a little bit more before we vote. Okay.
The guidelines just don't allow for what they're trying to do. According to the way we read the guidelines, everybody in the community reads the guidelines. Because we were all agreed on denial for this application.
All right. All right. One last thing before we
Sorry
before I
about
call the
that.
vote on this. No problem.
So a walkway is not in the guidelines, actually. And they highlighted it when they sent it to us of why it was denied. And I had asked for clarification because while they do mention walkways, they do not specify how big they can be, the location from other properties. It doesn't specify. It's in section 8 and 11, and I believe that was also in the packet that I sent, where it talked about walkways. And all it had said was that when they connect to driveways, it must be shown in the plans, and it does not say anything besides how big a walkway can actually be. And the guidelines doesn't have anything specific to walkways, only driveways. Where this isn't a driveway anymore because we cannot drive there and we will not be able to park his work vehicle there, which was our initial plan.
I can't.
If we approve this, I suggest that we add the caveat that one reason we might be approved because it's a very large, wide lot, wider than most, and we don't expect this to be a precedent if we approve it. I think we need that language in the approval.
So what you're suggesting is that the motion would be for the board to approve the appeal with the board's position that this is a one-off approval of this particular design.
Yes.
Not-
And is influenced by lot sizes and proximity to neighbors.
Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Okay. All right, so all those in favor of approving the appeal with the wording we just went through, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Stand? Okay. All those opposed? The appeal passes 4-3.
Can I ask for,
Clarification.
I had my hat down when you guys raised your hands.
You talking about the ayes?
Rob,
And Dave voted no, everybody else voted yes.
got it.
So the appeal passed. Okay,
Thank you guys very much for your time.
all right. So, all right. Okay,
Let me just make sure, in case this video doesn't happen.
Okay, let's go through it. That's fine.
Just give me the motion one more time. with the-
so the motion is that was to approve the appeal with the board's position being that this is a one-of approval and not setting a precedent to change any guidelines in the community. Okay. No disagreement on the wording? Okay, good. All right. All right. Next item on the agenda is the committee reports, and the first one is going to be the Internet Committee. Just to fill in a little bit more details, as of yesterday, 29 installations have been completed for Blue Stream Fiber. 442 are scheduled right now. And I think our consensus is that the initial friendlies installations, the week of Thanksgiving and then the past week, were very helpful to fine-tune the installation procedures and provide the installation team with a lot more familiarity with all the different varieties of residents we have in the community. I want to thank to the friendlies for their useful and positive feedback. I think they funneled a lot of feedback to Val, and we then had some good discussion with the Blue Stream team to make sure that they got the feedback and were understanding how to deal with it. Next month, the committee is going to focus on 3 key things. Continuing the oversight on the installation, and the completion of the remaining construction repair issues. As of now, we have 6 known issues, and we have to work with Blue Stream on a mutually agreeable cutoff date for those issues. Another key thing is that we will be concentrating on working with CenturyLink to get the equipment return procedure finalized so we can get that communicated to the community. And finally, a very key thing is that we have to work as a team to develop the process for monitoring the performance metrics that we have in the agreement and how we're going to get that information and start getting into the habit of reviewing it on a monthly basis. Any questions on the internet committee?
No, just a comment, I was one that was done, I've done last Friday, and I checked the speed. One of my shows was buffering, I said, what the heck's going on? So I checked the speed was there. We had 1 gig speed, so it was the network or the streaming company that, it was their problem, it was not Blue Stream. And the guys that did the job were very efficient, thorough, went around to everything, made sure everything worked. Got chased by the dog one time, by accident.
Yep.
Thought the dog was locked out, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so we're gonna be making a big push to, we're gonna keep an eye on the quality aspects of the installations to make sure that they're following through on their procedures. Any other questions on the internet? Okay. Our committee.
Art is doing, I think last meeting we had 11, the meeting coming up this Saturday, we have 2. And they're rehashes to the whole the system and their modifications to 2 of them. So it's very quiet when it happens. So it may pick up afterwards, but everything's been going pretty smoothly.
Good. Okay, any questions for Rob? Okay. Rules Committee, communications, my apologies, David.
We postponed our December scheduled meeting due to travel, so we will have a January meeting, so I have no updates right now.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dave? ARC Committee, Rob? Amenities, I'm
I
sorry.
already did ARC.
Right, okay.
Rules and social.
Yeah.
You want me to go ahead and?
No, okay, rules, we are having a meeting in early January, bless you. And I believe we'll be asking the board to approve 3 new members of the Rules Committee at the January meeting. I'm still going through and working through with these individuals as we consider whether or not to go forward with recommending modernization of the governing rules. Any questions on that? Okay.
One thing we should, I think precedent offered, either they or their attorney has done this before in other communities. Give us some guidelines for that.
Yes, back in August, we had a video call with Stephen Danchek,
Yeah.
our attorney, who's had a lot of experience with that, and he went through best practices from his experience with that. And we recorded that video, and the pending members are reviewing that video, so we're all on the same page in terms of what our attorney recommends as best practices if we decide to go forward with it. All right, so I'm messing this up. Rules. Stan, Social Committee?
Everything's good.
I'll supplement that.
Okay.
Everything's Irene month. The social committee, the Winterfest was a fabulous success. Roughly 400 attendees enjoying some delicious sandwiches at Santa and Mrs. Santa and the Grinch. So that was a big achievement, the second largest that we have a year. Coming up, they have the Neon New Year's Eve party, starts at 9 o'clock. BYOB, all ages are welcome, and it is a free event. Tickets have gone on sale for the Jimmy Maz. I guess he's been very popular here for the last couple of years. That'll be January 9th, and there will be another silent disco on January 17th. That's $10 per person. And we still have tickets available for the Everblades game on February 20th and the Yankee Red Sox game on March 4th.
Go Red Sox. Okay, any other questions on social? Okay. Amenities, Jim?
Ooh,
Amenities?
Jim, you said Jim.
Amenities
Dave?
slash Jim.
Jimmy Dave?
GYM.
Jim, okay. Yeah, it was nice for a change. We had a meeting, and a half ago, I guess it was now, for the first time in probably 3 years. We had almost a full committee. We have 5 new members. Kim is, as we put it tonight, she will be the chairman, and Debbie Ott is the secretary. So we're dividing the things up. The things that are getting done, I mean, finally got the buckets on the pool. Stuff's going pretty well. We still have concerns and questions and differing opinions about what to do about the pickleball and the third tennis court door converting to straight pickleball. So that's still up in the air. We have varying opinions on that throughout the community. So.
How diplomatic.
What's that?
How diplomatic.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good meeting, and we've set up a schedule for meetings once a month. But if there's nothing to do, we will skip a meeting. So it'll go month to month.
Okay, thank you. Anything from the dog park?
No news or updates on the dog park.
Okay. Any questions for Rob or Dave on amenities or dog park? Okay. Safety and Security Committee.
Yes, so we met this month. We had several representatives from the bocce group that we were discussing the different damages that have happened recently and in the past. We went over some possible solutions with them, and so they're going to take those back to their group and kind of hash them out and do a little bit of research on some other possibilities. We did also discuss a couple actions that involve the Cape Police in the community, and we have continued our contract with them for 4 days a week detail right now, so we're maintaining that. Speed calming signs are still basically showing about the same trend. The majority of drivers in our community are following the speed limit, work very closely, so that's a good thing. Still seeing a lot of braking action as they come up to the sign, so they're being effective. It was approved in the 26 budget to get 2 more signs, but we're holding off on that at this time. We're just going to continue to evaluate some different traffic calming measures and see if we do want to add anything to that. And lastly, I just wanted to reiterate what Bill had mentioned, that I've started preliminary research on access management systems. We just want to ensure that we're providing the best level of service to our residents. So we're checking what's out there, if there's any other companies that can accomplish that. So again, one more plug that we really use some more people on the committee. You only have one person, so it would be helpful definitely. Yes.
Lisa, a question about, when you look at Envera is not just gates, right? What else do they control, Chuck?
Cameras.
All the doors, everything?
Cameras and doors, yeah.
So that can't just change gates.
No, I meant the entire system.
Yes, we got to do a lot. That's a huge, huge deal.
Yes. So we're looking at options,
We maybe need a special subcommittee for that. It's very important.
If we could get some people, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I mean, and then it's a challenge not only from a technology perspective, but the logistics of how we would convert to a new system if we choose to go somewhere else and Vera is not cooperative in terms of transferring information.
Really?
It would be a daunting effort to the community to switch out all our ID badges and stuff like that. So there's a lot of moving parts that they have to work on. That's why it's important to get people to be part of the evaluation, to ask those tough questions and help us really evaluate what the right solution is. All right. Anything else for safety and security? Okay. Lakes Committee.
Jane does everything. Thank you, Jane.
Okay, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay. So we met on December 9th. We had a report from Premier Lakes, which is the vendor that does lake maintenance. The lakes appear to be much cleaner, although it's the season where algae would be down anyhow. At the time of the meeting, the aerators repairs were up to date, so it's good to get that backlog done. Algae levels are generally under control. Excuse me. And the spraying for algae has been very minimal recently. They're trying to stay ahead of it and spray small areas before it becomes a large bloom. Bill Kurth, which is the owner and representative from that company, is going to add to the monthly reports any shoreline issues that they observe. They have also submitted a quote for cleanup of debris on the land bridge area. Seabreeze, that's for the shoreline repair. The big delay with shoreline repair for 2025, which was approved and the down payment has been made, is the permit. They apparently put the permit in June and we're still waiting. There's supposed to be a review of the permit on December 23rd. After that review, they will reach out, Seabreeze will reach out and set up a meeting where we'll review the plan for scheduling the 2025 shoreline repair, which obviously will be pushed to 26. And we also have 2 lakes that we've already approved in the budget for 2026. So we want to go over the schedule of that. Will probably be early in January. The review, I mean. Also, the Lakes Committee is putting on Lakes Game Night on January 16th. There'll be trivia questions, pizza and prizes. We'll have Ernesto from the Hyacinth.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's from the Hyacinth Control District, and he'll come and talk, and he's always very, very engaging, very informative. We'll also have Bill Kurth come from Premier Lakes, so we hope to have a nice turnout for that. The next meeting will be January 13th. We also need, I plead for more committee members. We have myself and 3 others, which there's 26 lakes to manage in the community. They're a vital part of our stormwater system. They have a huge effect on the community, so we'd like to have more members. Any questions?
Just one observation, thank you, great report, wonderful, wonderful work that committee is doing. I did notice when walking the dog along the tennis court lake, I forget the proper name, where the
16,
16 where the work has been done, the plants look great. There is actually some erosion happening on the street side where the shells are washing down into the lake. So you might want to just bring that up with the folks that look after that to double check that.
okay, that will go back to the Seabreeze that did that shoreline repair. That should not be happening. I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, and it would be close to the corner, the street side corner away from the tennis courts, about 20 to 30 yards in from that corner, towards the tennis court side. That's where I saw it. I was kicking down pretty good, almost.
Towards the tennis courts?
Yeah,
or-
if the houses are on this side and the street is on this side and the tennis courts are here, it's like 20 yards in from the corner.
The far end.
All right, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Anything else for Lakes Committee? All right, thank you. Okay, Covenants Committee.
Covenants Committee met today, talked about procedures. There were no violations for them to support.
All right, any questions for John? Okay. Finance Committee?
Finance Committee, we met Tuesday and reviewed October and November financials. And we came up with a list of GL codes that were questioning whether they've been coded correctly. I began running some reports that I use to explain why things appear the way they appear. There are some issues with miscoded GLs that need to get straightened out. So that's kind of where we are with finance. Trying to get all that stuff straightened out before the year-end financial supply.
Thank you. Any questions for David? Okay. Landscaping?
Right, landscaping, unfortunately, juniper is in their trim cycle, which is taking place behind the mulch going down. And there's a number of residents that don't like that, but they gotta keep to their schedule too. The other thing is if they encounter a house that has Christmas lights on the shrubs, they're skipping the house completely, so there's no mistakes.
Okay.
So you have the lights on your bushes and you're not gonna get tripped. But they're up to phase 3 now, and phase 3 doesn't need it as bad as phase 1 and 2 did, so it's not gonna make a big difference in appearance if they don't get it.
I was gonna say, I mean, I probably wouldn't notice it on my bushes because I got lights on my bushes.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
But that's it for landscape.
Any questions for David on landscaping?
One question, Dave, is it just the grass around the clubhouse? It's got a lot of dead spots.
That's something that we're gonna have to look at. Normally what happens is Juniper notifies Chuck and or myself when they encounter grass that looks like it's dead, it's not gonna come back, so that we can discuss what we're gonna do about it. I haven't heard anything from Chuck.
No, we've got some wear and tear spots out here where people kind of walk off the sidewalk. We've got some grass out here that we're keeping an eye on. That Blue Stream ran their wire. And there is a couple of shady spots that they're keeping an eye on.
I just didn't know whether it was, fungus or bugs or fertilizer or just.
Juniper's pretty good about letting us know what the issue is and what the cause is, if the grass is dying. So, like I said, they haven't said anything to me, so to me that means that they're, like Chuck said, they're keeping an eye on it to see if it comes back before they, we don't want them replacing sidewalks because it turns a little brown. We want to see if it comes back first.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on landscaping? Okay. Last committee report is risk management. Right now, the big thing that we're involved with is working on renewal of all our insurance policies. The key action that we took in the past month is that we have switched to a different agency of record to start getting our insurance quotes pulled together. The agency is Brown & Brown. They have extensive experience with doing commercial insurance policies for condominium and homeowner associations. Last year at this time, they were very helpful in analyzing our current proposed insurance policies, and were able to identify some exclusions or modifications that were in our interest to change, that we're able to work with the current, that we got the current agent to put into our policy, our current policies. So we've made the switch over, and they will be here. We hope to have them here at the January board meeting to review the proposed policies and give you an introduction to their agency so you can get familiar with working with them going forward.
How confident do we feel in our insurance budget for next year?
Pretty confident at this point, given where we're at.
Okay.
One of the things that Dave pointed out, that we were getting, because of what happened with Ian, there was a huge jump in insurance policies from 22 to 23, and that sort of caused us to overestimate the increases year over year. So this year we put a 10% increase into the overall budget. One thing that we'll probably see, a non-standard increase in will be our D&O policy, because after we go through and look at our cash accounts and everything, we need to have a D&O policy for the 7 million, correct? Or 8 million?
Yeah, I think we said let's go for 8 million.
8 million, and this year we did 6 million, so we'll see an increase just because we have to increase the coverage to cover what we think our year-end cash will be. Did I answer your question, John?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on risk management? Okay, thank you. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Stan. Everybody have a good Christmas and New Year.